Just want to transition to finish off a bit about you, a bit more detail about yourself. I mean, you've had such a successful few decades. I mean, what are the next big goals for you over the next 5 years or so?
I think from a corporate perspective, I would like to be recognised as a very hard-working executive that can and has taken, the historical experience of sport, transitioned it into the work environment successfully, applied, those principles effectively and come up with outcomes for, in this case, our shareholders that they're going to be very happy with. That's my immediate corporate goal. And beyond that, it's really just a linear extension of that, of seeing how well I can go. I expect there'll be some failures along the way too, and again, that's not surprising, and I'm not fearful of it. I will make mistakes, no question, but hopefully over time I make fewer and fewer, and the wins get bigger and bigger.
Cool. What do you do to keep focused professionally? Some of the things you use?
Well, I seem to be, like most people, incredibly reliant on my smart device these days. There's a lot going on, so between my phone and my magnificent PA, Kathy, tries to keep me focused on various things, particularly from a time management point of view. As I said earlier, my firm belief is I am best at my job when I'm balanced at home. So I like to ensure that I'm spending quality time with my children, which means I do a lot of work between 5 and 7 in the morning, and then I make the lunches and I take my kids to school and I engage properly that way, and then I have a very good and understanding working relationship with my board, so they know that I work at night sometimes, so if I want to go and watch my daughter compete in the track and field or whatever, and it's during work hours, they know that there's swings and roundabouts and I don't abuse that at all. So those things are really important to me, making sure that I'm a good executive, but certainly not at the expense of being a good father.
Awesome. And who inspires you?
Many people, and some people don't even know it, but my early role models have been my father, I think, and my mother. I think if I had to put characteristics around it, my father really taught me the value of working hard and getting off your ass and doing it yourself, being prepared to work harder than the next guy in order to be that bit better. My mother gave me a really strong value system in community and around people. I mentioned Warren Jones and Kerry Stokes earlier as being very influential on myself, and my business partner Paul Robertson has been, again, inspirational in his philanthropy and generosity in allowing me to grow as a person and do these things for the West Australian community. So, those people are inspirational. And then you take it to the next level and you go, well, things in the community for, refugees or basic food security or, sometimes I really scratch my head and go, well, if we really wanted to solve problems in Africa, for instance, let's just put a hiatus on defence spending for a year. Problem solved. So those global mechanics, are interesting in the world that you live in. And again, I always revert to a saying, control the controllables. The rest is just noise.
Yeah, true. If you could have one advisor beside you right now, it could be anyone in the world, who would it be?
Kerry Stokes.
Do you turn to him for advice now?
When I get the chance.
Yeah, okay. Busy man, I suppose, no doubt.
Very hard to get hold of. Yeah.
What would be, so, I mean, you've transferred into the professional area now, what would be your top 3 tips to someone starting out in business or going through a bit of a tough time in business?
Starting out in business, I think, depending on what your balance sheet is, prepare to make mistakes, prepare to be wrong.
Yeah.
Minimise that by getting advice from as many people as you can, free advice. And there are plenty of places to do that, Small Business Development Council, the net, you name it. There's lots of places that you can get resourced mentally before you embark on something like that. So you don't fall for the obvious pitfalls of, cash flow deficit, etc. that I went through as, building an events company that, when your income's like that, you're like, well, how are we going to get from there to there? But I think the other thing is make sure that you're prepared to do the hard yards and that you are engineered for some perseverance and some tough times, expect the worst, plan for the best,
Plan for the best,
and see what happens in between, I guess. I think that's an old adage again. The other thing probably is just to be innovative in how you approach problems, solutions, challenges, There's more than one way to solve a problem. And quite often that answer comes from, your ability to be humble in asking for help or advice in how you deal with particular issues. And then, generally if you ask enough people, you probably find that particular problem's come up before somewhere else and can be solved. Maybe not the way that you were looking at it or in a format that you were looking at, but at the end of the day, I think you can establish rapport with people like that, and again, mutual respect with others if you're prepared to, be open and honest, say, I need a bit of help.
Yeah, no, spot on. So do you still throw the ball around?
I'd love to, but not really. Just coach my kids a little bit. Yeah. My days on the pine would have taken its toll, and so I would love to, have that physical competitive element again. But nah, I'm done with that. That's earlier phase of my career.
So what do you do to relax now?
I get an enormous amount of enjoyment just sitting on the balcony, hanging out with my wife, having a glass of wine, watching the world go by. I love watching my kids play sport. Watching what their learning process is and sort of making analogies to potentially what happened to me back when I was in that same age. So those are relaxing things. I used to play a bit of golf, but I just haven't had the time lately. And relaxation for me just is knowing that I've got my family close by and they're all okay.
Yeah.
I can relax.
Awesome. Well, thanks for all of that, Andrew. It's been great to get to know you a bit more.
Pleasure.
Appreciate your time. So thank you very much. Good on you.
Too easy.
Very much.
Thank you.